What's up, guys? To begin this video, I'm going to announce the winner of our Twitter giveaway for the signed Johnny Manziel Texas A&M jersey, and that winner is Gabe Valley. Uh, we'll send you a DM to figure out some shipping information and get that out to you pretty quickly. And congrats, dude.
Welcome back, everyone. Another First Seed Sports grab bag. This is the week of August 31st. And really what that means more so than anything is that we are now we're closing in on a week away from football. We got next Thursday coming up. We got the Chiefs playing the Texans, and I can speak for you guys. We're getting pretty fired up for it, right?
Oh, hell yeah. So excited.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's some good stuff. So as always, we're going to start the grab bag off with some injuries, some notable stuff that went on this week. So Kyle, take it away.
All right. It was actually a rather big week of injuries. Tyrell Williams, wide receiver for the Las Vegas Raiders, was placed on the IR. He tore his labrum and was initially stating he was going to play through it, but I guess that is no longer the case, and he is out. Kenyon Drake was told, Cliff Kingsbury said that he will be returning to full practice soon. It's all precautionary. Nothing crazy damage has been done after being seen in a walking boot. AJ Green is still limited in practice, suffering that hamstring injury. Will we see AJ Green sit out another full season with the same weird injury? Who knows? Lamar Miller was activated from the PUP list. Cool. Alshon Jeffrey is expected to miss week 1. It's not much of a surprise, and I mean, I'm not personally surprised, but I think Philly receivers are getting hit hard because even Jalen Reagor is expected to be out for the next 4 weeks with a shoulder injury. Brings them right back to square one with Zach Ertz being their sole top receiver. I think Deshaun Jackson's actually playing.
Yep.
So that's big news. But besides that, what was initially a new year with an exciting core is now back to nothing.
Yep.
Really quick, Kyle, before we move on from the injuries, I want to throw you guys on the spot real quick. With Tyrell Williams being out, I mean, obviously, I don't think any of us had any Raiders receivers way up at the top of our draft boards, but you have to pick a Raiders receiver. Gun to your head. Who are you going with?
Oof.
I'm going Renfro.
Ooh.
Renfro? Okay.
Yeah,
I think go ahead, Mike.
ahead.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was just going to say, honestly, Renfro or Ruggs for me, but there's just so many weapons there. What are you thinking?
I'm gonna throw a name into the hat. I think Brian Edwards really has a good shot to maybe surprise some people. I'm kind of getting feelings of shades of Deebo Samuel from last year. They both came out of South Carolina. I think that they both kind of fought through some poor quarterback play during their time in college, and I think that they could probably surprise some people with how solid they are. Edwards had a little bit of an injury history when he was in college. But I think he's going to put that behind him, and I think that he could be one of those guys that surprises. So, I mean, have you not drafted yet, or if your waivers go through in the next couple of days, maybe drop that last guy on your bench and throw Edwards' hat in the ring for your team. It might be worth the shot, So
right.
Yeah. So Kyle sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was going to say I see Vegas being one of those teams that's playing from behind. And I think any receiver can be had free in drafts. So why not take a chance on any or all of them? I like Renfro because I think he's already got that rapport with Carr, but Edwards has been getting a lot of hype lately, and I could totally see that panning out.
Right. Is Renfro now the most experienced or veteran on that team in the wide receiving core? Is he the most experienced guy there now, or am I forgetting someone?
I'm sure that somehow like Dwayne Bowe or someone is still on their roster at the very back end of it. But Yeah, I think he's the only relevant one.
Yeah.
I think in all of this too, we can't sleep too much on Darren Waller. He's really going to be the wide receiver one with all those young guys, a lot of PPR tools. I think that if Carr is confident with anyone, it's going to be Waller. So I can see a huge year for him.
Absolutely.
So, anything else on the Raiders? Any injury news? We good?
All good.
Good.
All right, let's party on. There have been a couple starters being named this week. Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, so first starter that was named this week was Dwayne Haskins. Not really a surprise. There was a huge comeback story with Alex Smith, and we're all fans of Alex Smith here. He was a baller, and he's very skilled. I wouldn't go on a limb to say that Alex Smith is probably a better quarterback than Dwayne Haskins, but given the situation of his injury and what's going on, they named Haskins the starter. I think it's a good move for the organization. They spent a high draft pick on him, so let him go. And then if he fails, I could see him coming in and Alex Smith will take over. But that was a big news. Another named starter this week was Tyrod Taylor. Sadly, it actually got announced after this episode of Hard Knocks, which we'll touch on in a little bit. But Tyrod Taylor named the starter. No surprise there either. We all knew that he was going to start the year and see how it goes from there. And then maybe the rookie will step in, but it's looking very unlikely. Two situations where they haven't named the starter yet is in Chicago with Trubinsky and Foles. No one has been named there. What would you guys lean towards in that quarterback room?
It's got to be Foles. I mean, Trubisky has tried to prove himself and has continued to fail. So that's why Chicago felt so willing to pick up Foles' contract. That is a lot. And so why bring him on just to be like, oh, we'll stick with Trubisky? I think Foles is going to be the starter. I think they're just trying to be nice with Trubisky, but I think the real answer is Foles.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's two real points that I want to bring up. The first one is let's never underestimate Matt Nagy's ability to just completely blow everyone's mind with a decision. So if it is Trubisky out there week one, I'm not going to be surprised. But the other point that I wanted to mention is with David Montgomery going down for a couple weeks, I think that kind of brings to light the passing game. And I do think that if they are going to need to throw the ball more, Foles is going to be the better option. So just from a passing standpoint, I think that Foles will probably be the guy to get the job done. They could be tweaking their approach a little bit in camp, trying to throw the ball around a little bit more. And I think just in doing that, that's going to really show off Foles as a passer as compared to Trubisky. Because without Montgomery there, it's Tariq Cohen and Cordero Patterson, I think, are the next two running backs. And I don't think either of them are really going to be guys that can carry a big workload. So that's kind of just where I sit.
Right. Yeah. I would agree. I would go with Foles without a doubt. Quick question for you guys, just real quick before I move on. Who do you think plays more games this year out of the two of them, regardless of who's named the starter?
Give me Trubisky. The injury risk with Foles is just too high, so I'm going to go Trubisky.
Okay. What about you, Kyle?
I'm taking Foles. Whether they name Trubisky the starter to begin the season, I think Foles takes it week 2.
Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards what Zach's saying with Trubinsky. I think that it ends up going in his favor, whether it be injury or whatever's going on. I'm going Trubinsky there. Moving on, the other quarterback tandem that hasn't been named yet was Cam Newton and Jarrett Stidham. It's not looking like it's much of a competition. They're saying that Stidham's struggling a little bit. He's also banged up a little bit. So I think the clear-cut starter there is going to be Cam Newton. But no news. So it's something to look forward to. So we had the 2 signings and 2 more groups that will be interesting to monitor throughout the season. But other than that, big news this week, the Alvin Kamara contract holdout signing. I'll let Zach take that one.
Yeah, really what a weird situation. It's turned into like 3 different things. Initially it was he was hurt. And then after that, it was he wants his money. And then come today to find out that apparently he and Sean Payton had a hugging session last night, and now they're all good. So I think that ultimately we do see a deal get done in the next couple of days. I think that I forgot to mention there was also the talk of him getting traded at one point. So realistically, I think that everything's going to be okay in New Orleans. I think that Kamara is going to get his money. I think the Saints are going to be happy. He's just too important of a piece to that offense. And another important piece of an offense, Joe Mixon got an extension. On Twitter, I've seen a lot of mixed reactions. It's pretty well documented. It's pretty well documented that this upcoming free agent class is going to be huge. So I think that people were a little upset that they threw money at Mixon now. But I think that people are also sleeping on Mixon's talent a little bit. He's been on really, really bad teams just about his whole career. And Zach Taylor kind of finally took the leash off him a little bit last year. So I think this year we could see a massive year from Joe Mixon. And I think that with a new contract under his belt, he's a hard runner. So I think we could see a really solid year, probably a career high year for him. You guys have anything to add on either of those?
I agree with you. Go ahead, Kyle.
I wanted to point out that Kamara has been a roller coaster because it was contract dispute, then is an injury, then it was he got an epidural shot, which you don't get epidural shots for no reason. It's normally a big injury, but then came out today that it was just for muscle spasms, and it was a much smaller, different shot. So my worry on Kamara sitting out and doing a whole contract dispute for injury or whatever, I'm not worried about it. I'm still taking Kamara at 4. He's still my guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I really just think that in getting both of these running backs hopefully locked up for these teams, it means good things for their futures. So with that, let's move on to our next section. Mike is going to recap Hard Knocks in our favorite weekly segment. Go ahead, Mike.
Yep. So episode 3 of Hard Knocks, definitely the best episode to date. A lot of stuff going on. Austin Eckler looks great. He's a freak. He's very athletic. He's doing his thing. He's going to be in for a great year this year, a great workload with no Gordon there. Hard Knocks, they went through a lot of Tyrod Taylor and Justin Herbert competition as well. But Tyrod eventually the day after actually got named the starter. So nothing more to look into there other than maybe just monitoring Herbert, seeing how good he's looking. And then lastly, Joshua Kelly. He's impressing a lot of coaches there, especially Anthony Flynn. He loves him. A lot of great things said about him on Hard Knocks. Joshua Kelly, I could imagine, might take the workload at the second half of the year, running the ball, just to give Eckler a little bit of a breather every now and then and stuff like that. But that's something to look forward to. So those 3 guys have been having great camps, and I'm really excited to see what happens on the next episode.
Yeah, I think with Fournette floating around out there as a free agent and the 2 LA teams being featured, I think that could make for a really, really interesting storyline if the stars happen to align there. We'll touch on the Fournette signing, or release, I should say, and hopeful signing in a future video, so keep your guys' eyes out for that. So with that being said, that's really our end of our grab bag this week. You guys have anything you want to add to it?
Not for me.
Nothing here.
Awesome. All right. Well, once again, thanks for watching another variation of our grab bag. This was, again, the week of August 31st. We should try to get one out to you guys before Thursday Night Football next week, so you guys can make those last-second waiver claims, set those lineups. Who knows? Maybe we'll even have some of our favorite starts for the week next week. So with that being said, that's all we got. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.
See you.